Hey there, Aries. Welcome. You know what? We're just going to roll with it, Aries. Welcome to your reading. This is your bonus July 2021 reading. We are going to do a head and heart move mountains reading. So if you don't know, one of my favorite people of all time is Greg Braden. He says when your head and your heart become one, that you will be able to move mountains. So we're going to take a look at where your head is at in this first row. We're going to take a look at where your heart is at in the second row, and then we're going to put the two things together and see how you can move mountains. Mountains can be anything. It doesn't have to be an obstacle, by the way. It can be a goal, wish, dream, something you're trying to overcome, something you want to manifest. Could be anything. We're going to see what comes up here, Aries, and we're just going to go from there. Your reading looks amazing already. 2 aces, love that. And so that's nice. But Aries, make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, make sure to only follow the social media accounts that are linked in the description down below, Aries, because there are tons of scammers. I will never ask you for money. I will never offer personal readings. So if someone claiming to be me does that, make sure to report them. But Aries, you start off with the Eight of Pentacles here in the area of your head. I feel like you're very focused on results. On a very simple level, the Eight of Pentacles can just represent results because the Eight of Pentacles really represents material success on the horizon. It basically means that you're working for results in the future. And it doesn't have to be financial, although typically we read the Eight of Pentacles as a financial card, right? So, typically that's what it means. Actually, this is the Seven of Pentacles, I just realized for some reason, but I am getting future results here, but this is the Seven of Pentacles. Sorry, Aries, totally wrong. But what I would say here is I do feel like there's something about future results. It kind of makes more sense that this is the Seven of Pentacles based off what's going on here as well. Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Swords, some sort of change coming in for you here. And the Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. We also see this because Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is a new beginning here, and Four of Wands is also a portal as well. There are people on the other side of those Four Wands there, so it is a change card. That makes more sense to me, by the way. Although I am feeling Eight of Pentacles energy. It's funny that I said Eight of Pentacles. What's this next card here? You have this Elk Spirit. This card taking the lead and being a leader. So I feel a lot of you are kind of taking the lead here. But I do feel like some sort of change in direction, mostly because of this Wheel of Fortune. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Wands, and the Ace of Swords here. Ace of Swords, I feel, when it comes up in a past position here, it can represent like a sacrifice. There's a palm frond on one side, and there's an olive branch on the other side of the card here, Aries. The palm fronds in tarot represent a sacrifice, and the Ace of Swords cuts both ways. As I always say, it's like the sword is sharp on both sides of the card. There are also 6 golden yods here, and the 6 yods kind of are in perfect balance. They perfectly mirror each other on either side of the card, and so it represents things being in perfect balance. It kind of says sometimes like to have one thing to have a new beginning, you have to make space for it. So it's like you have to let go of something from the past. And that's kind of like what I'm getting here, Aries. I feel like that's where your head is at. I do, again, feel that you are very focused on results. That word popped into my head when I thought that was the Eight of Pentacles. I don't know why I thought that, but it popped into my head. So, I'll say that. But I feel like you're very focused on results and kind of like thinking about it. It still makes sense because the Seven of Pentacles is a card of results. He's looking at what he has grown typically on the Seven of Pentacles. On a traditional Seven of Pentacles, it's the guy who's looking at the Seven Pentacles, and he's kind of looking at what he has grown. He's just asking, is it worth it? So for a lot of you, it's kind of like you're realizing that you need to take the lead here. I feel like I've said this to you in the past as well, that it does seem like I get this more selfish energy here, and that is not a bad thing, Aries. I don't mean selfish in a bad way. I mean selfish in a good way, right? I feel that, a lot of words I think have been kind of hijacked, let's put it that way. And I think that people, especially in the spiritual community, kind of don't necessarily look at them in the right, kind of like in the right way. And what I would say here is I feel like you are kind of self-focused, but in a good way with this row. There's definitely some sort of change going on in your head, kind of like where your mind is going. And I think it has to do with results. Like I said, that's like the word that I keep getting here. So where's this going, Aries? So you have the Three of Swords here. I do feel like some of you, again, the sacrifice you could have made is some sort of heartbreak. I kind of felt that at the beginning of the reading as well, especially with the Four of Wands here. It's like some of you, I feel, could have dealt with a heartbreak, but it's almost like if you have dealt with a heartbreak in the recent past, I would say over the past couple of years, it's like it could be one of those things where it's like that the heartbreak motivated you to make a significant change. Or like a mindset shift, right? And sometimes I think when this happens, we actually outgrow the person that we were with in the past. Like I'm sure, and I'm getting that energy here, Aries, where if you've experienced some sort of loss or separation, it's like maybe initially you wanted that person back, so you're really motivated to change. But it's like then you changed so much that you outgrew that old energy. So I like this. I like where this is going because I feel like you're kind of like, vibrating really high. Even this Judgment card here, like I love this one. It's like, look, it's like her soul is popping out of her body, or you could say it's like her higher self here. And I kind of feel like you're raising your vibration in a big way. You're like leveling up here, Aries. You have the Justice card here. And the Hangman, yeah, there were a lot of delays here, waiting for things. Again, waiting for results with the Seven of Pentacles. And because, again, the Seven of Pentacles, he's like looking at those pentacles, like I said, and he's like saying, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? Is it worth it? Justice. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Justice is simply cause and effect. It's like if you put energy into something, what are you getting back? That's what justice asks you, right? That's what it's wondering. That's what it's asking you to look at. The Five of Wands here, kind of underneath that, I feel like that Five of Wands is kind of like learning how to get more. I also feel like it's like, for some reason, I am getting competition popping into my head with the Five of Wands. It is the card of competition, but it's almost like, there could be like a lot of competition for something, and I feel like there's like something else in life where there is no competition. So what the hell does that mean? What that means is like, I feel like for some of you, it's like maybe you're very focused on a certain type of job, but it's like everybody's going for it. I feel like there's something else, like a different job that's even better, that's similar but better, and nobody's going for it. It's almost like this first row is kind of like saying that there could be areas in your life where there is no competition. This could also be in love as well. So that's interesting. Ace of Swords with the Hangman is enlightenment. So that's also interesting. We're going to have to see where this goes. You have in the area of your heart, the Swan Spirit. It says time for a deep dive. I feel like you need to, again, be selfish. I feel like this whole reading is kind of asking you to look at what you want. Seven of Pentacles here is kind of like saying, it's like you since it's showing up in the area of your head, it's asking you to, I feel, be honest. I feel like it's asking you to say, like, does your life look like how you want it to look like, or does it look like somebody else's idea of what your life should be? I feel like that's what you need to kind of look at here with that Seven of Pentacles. And because I keep getting the word results, it's kind of gotten to the point where it's almost annoying, the way that it's popping into my head here, Aries. But usually when this happens to me in a reading, it's because there's more to the story. So usually what I do is I clear the energy and I say, okay, we'll pull more details at the end. So we're going to ask more about these, like these results that you're waiting for or not seeing, and we're going to see where that goes just so we can kind of, keep moving forward here. But I feel like you need to figure out what you want deep down inside with this energy. You have the Magician, the Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Swords here. I feel for some of you, again, I've been saying this to you for like 2 weeks now, something about like you being in a dip. Nine of Swords is a temporary situation. It's a nightmare. This person has fallen asleep. They've had a nightmare. They're waking up and they're still in a nightmare, right? So I feel like for some of you, it's kind of like you're this nightmare energy. But you have the Ace of Wands and the Magician, which really tells me that some sort of challenge has kind of is the thing that is pushing you towards like a raised vibration. Like I was saying, the best example I could give is a heartbreak. Sometimes after a heartbreak, we make a lot of improvements, and then we outgrow the past energy. For others, it could be a job loss or something else that has happened to you here in the past. I feel Aries is the thing that is kind of like, raising you up, raising your vibration, if that makes sense. A lot of new beginning energy here as well. The Magician is a new beginning. The Ace of Wands is also a new beginning. The Magician is pointing to the Strength card here. This really tells me that something you're doing, it is going to require strength. Again, I keep telling people it's like nothing is going to be easy right now, of course, right? It's like anything that we do, it's not going to like magically happen. We're going to have to put the work in. The reward is the Strength card. This is what I keep trying to get people to understand right now, is that our biggest reward right now is this right here. Because who in their right mind would stick their hands in a lion's mouth? The answer is nobody, Aries. The reward that we get with the Strength card is being seen as being very strong. It's kind of like a showing off energy, but like in a much, it's in a positive way, of course. So I feel like you need to kind of realize that you're going to be showing off in a big way with this strength energy. And I feel like you need to embrace that here, is what I would say to you. And again, if you're thinking about doing something that requires strength, like, starting a business or kind of leaving a person and moving on to a new person, whatever it is, it's like, I feel like you need to realize it's going to be, maybe not easy, but it's going to be good. You have the Devil here, of course. You have the Knight of Swords here. And the Five of Swords, like I said, I feel some of you are clearly making a sacrifice here. Again, for a lot of you, I can't get over the fact that I feel like some of you, I don't necessarily think maybe you're holding on to a relationship, but for some of you, maybe you're holding on to a relationship here or a past person. It's like you're about to outgrow it here. It's like putting the two things together. It's like letting go of something from the past is going to lead to this freedom with the Four of Wands. Definitely like heartbreak energy. Three of Swords twice, Five of Swords here. Again, these readings aren't meant to be positive or negative. It's like how to put your head and your heart together to move mountains, right? So there's nothing, positive or negative about it. But what I would say is in the area of the heart, you could be feeling heartbroken. For others, I feel you feel trapped by something here with this Devil energy. Again, if you're not looking for love, to me, this has to do with your identity. And those are the words that are popping into my head, especially with the Knight of Swords and the Five of Swords. This energy here is like not wanting to be trapped by something. And what I mean by that is it's like maybe you want a career and maybe it's like you want to be a doctor. But this right here is like what I'm feeling is like not wanting to have to identify as a doctor. It's like you don't want to be known by a title. It's like maybe some of you, it's like maybe you don't want to be known as like a mother is popping into my head. It's like maybe you feel like all you'll ever be known as is a mother and you want to be known as more than that. Or a father, right? Maybe you want to be known as more than that. Or whatever your job title is. Maybe it's like you want to be known as more are the words that are kind of popping into my head here than just whatever it is that you're known for right now, right? And so I feel like for a lot of you, this is a pretty deep reading because I think it has to do with just intuitively, I feel really that it has more to do with your identity more than anything else. It's like, how are you going to leave this earth, right? Are you going to leave, it's almost like, what are you going to be known for? And that's pretty powerful. In your final row here, putting it all together, you have the Judgment card here. So again, I feel like you're waking up to your true purpose and going through an awakening. I do feel like a lot of weird energy in the recent past. I've been talking to you about, I get the same thing for you for a while, Aries, where it's like, I just feel like mentally being in a weird space for like the past few years, could be like a couple years, it might only be a few months, but I don't really trust psychic timing. But I feel like it's kind of like forcing you to like wake up to your true purpose here with this Judgment card. I almost get the sense that some of you are realizing that you're meant for more. Again, I think that's why this identity thing is popping up here. It like if you have a job, it's like you could be here, but it's like, a stepping stone. I feel like there's something up here that's gonna like raise you up with the Judgment energy. And this is what you almost feel this is a realization. I'm really shocked that actually the Tower hasn't shown up in this reading. Usually when we have a realization like this in life, the Tower will show up because the Tower is a major wake-up call with the Judgment card. It's a much, much deeper than just a Tower moment or a Judgment type moment here. So I feel like a much deeper kind of energy. Yeah, I feel like Ace of Cups, your emotions will be overflowing here. So a lot of happiness, bringing the two things together. But again, I feel like you're kind of like at a stepping stone. And I feel like some of you, if you're feeling anxious or if you're feeling restless at this time, I feel like you need to realize that you're kind of like ascending to a new level. You have the Four of Wands, the Strength card, and Three of Swords. Again, I feel the sadness here could be in the sacrifice. It's like maybe you have a job that you love, and there's nothing wrong with that, but and some of you could be sad that you're moving on to something new or that you will be in the future. But again, I feel like you'll be moving mountains in your life because of that. For others, same thing in love as well. I do feel for some of you, it's like maybe you had a person that you loved, maybe you still love them, right? But at the same time, it's like you're kind of like needing to graduate to this next level. Four of Wands is a card of freedom and celebrations. Like I said, definitely stepping through a portal here. Like I said with the Strength card, I feel like whatever it is that you're doing doesn't matter. You are going to be seen as being very, very strong. So let's see where this last row is going. Six of Pentacles here. More fairness in your life, better results, a better return on your investments, right? And I'm not talking about just money here. The Six of Pentacles, Judgment, basically very similar cards. They both have a balance on the cards as well. Both cards say, like, what you put into something, what do you get out, right? More fair, equal, give and take. you have the Seven of Pentacles again. Again, moving on to something where the juice is worth the squeeze, and the Three of Pentacles results. There you go. Three of Pentacles, it's like this guy here is showing off his work. It's a card of quality work. I feel like for a lot of you, it's kind of like you're moving somewhere where you can do quality work. And you could be physically moving, but I feel for some of you, this is like a work change, business change, whatever change. Even if you're retired, it's like there could be you could still be doing work. You could be working on yourself, making improvements to yourself or whatever. I just want to ask here, Aries, what are these results? Like, what's the deal with the whole results thing? You have the Death card. In a lot of ways, better results. Death is a transformation, but the sun is coming up. It basically, the two pillars from the moon are back here on this card. So it kind of says that you've been through a moon period where maybe you haven't been seeing as good of results as you would like in work or business or your love life or your health life or anything. It's kind of like, it's almost like it's hard to have breakthroughs, right, with the moon. Actually, it's not. That's a lie. It feels like it's hard to have a breakthrough with the moon because the moon represents a period of innovation and represents a period of trying new things. Usually, things don't work during the moon period because it's like, if we're innovating, we're throwing a lot of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, kind of like the Nine of Wands. But what I would say here is that when the sun is coming up, like on the Death card, it kind of says that you're finally seeing results based off of what you've been trying. Here, Aries, you have the King of Wands, Aries, you showing up in a very strong position. Makes perfect sense coming up next to that Strength card there. And the Nine of Cups, wishes and fulfillment coming in for you here. I almost feel like an element more of, I feel more comfortable is the best way I could say it here, Aries. So I feel like your life is about to become much more comfortable. Not perfect, life is never perfect, I feel, but, there's nothing wrong with that. We're here to learn and grow, and, I feel like that's what we should be doing. But, I feel like things are kind of improving. Chariot. Victory. It's funny that I said movement earlier as well, because Chariot is definitely movement. You have the Five of Pentacles here. I feel that in the future something that might be missing is a relationship. So if you're not currently in a relationship, King of Wands is kind of like waiting to fill, with the Five of Pentacles, it's like waiting to fill that gap, right? Waiting to find true love. I feel like you'll be fine. And you have the Magician, new beginning. And I like that. For some of you, it's kind of like having the magician. It's like some of you maybe are realizing that life is about cycles, about creating new beginnings, about, kind of these death and rebirth cycles. So some of you might be just getting more comfortable with that. And, that could be a good thing. And because again, if we recognize these cycles, then we can learn from them, and then we can grow, right? So it's like maybe you're realizing, like, hey, maybe I kept making these mistakes in relationships, and I kept having to learn the cycle. But since you recognize that now, right? It's like you can say, okay, I'm going to learn from this relationship. It's like once you start learning from relationships, it's like eventually you get to the point where you're in one that you can learn from forever, right? And so that's like where I feel like you're kind of heading here, Aries. A pretty powerful reading, I have to say. I kind of like it. Definitely victories coming in for you. So thank you for being here, Aries. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. But thank you, Aries, and definitely enjoy your week.